Hey everyone, I'm Lauren and welcome back to my channel. This is Light in Lavender, where we talk about all things books and my own writing journey. And today we're going through the worst books that I read in 2020. So there's been a lot of controversy the past couple of months over worst books lists, but I'm going to do it anyway because there were some books that I read in 2020 which I was really disappointed by, and they had a lot of hype. Not all of them were released in 2020, some of these are really old books, but I was still a little bit, I don't know, I was just a little bit sad with how they were done, and I felt like the books could have given so much more to the story. I felt like some parts of the books were, I don't really know, they were a letdown really. I was expecting great things. I don't really read books I don't think I'm going to like, so the fact that I've got 5 books that I really didn't like and was really disappointed by is kind of sad for me. The first book that I thought was really disappointing in 2020 was One Day by David Nichols. I have mentioned this book quite a few times on my channel about how much I really dislike it and how much it really upset me with the way that it went and the turns that it took, and without getting into it too much, I just think that the last sort of 20 pages, 25 pages really let the book down. It didn't capture what I was expecting from the book. I felt like there was a lot of build up for little to no payoff. I don't really know what we were supposed to be getting out of this book. It seemed to be, I don't know, I just really didn't enjoy it. I know that so many people I know have really enjoyed it, and I think it's one of the few books where I've got different opinions from friends who we do tend to like the same sort of books, but this one just really wasn't for me. I don't know if maybe I'm just not in the right headspace to have read that book when I did, but it's left such a sour taste in my mouth that I will not read any of his books, and I really don't want to read that one ever again. And yeah, there was just something about it that I just didn't like. The second most disappointing book of 2020 for me was The Deathless Girls by Kieran Millwood Hargrave. I can never get her name right. And this is a Dracula's Brides retelling, or maybe sort of like a Dracula's Brides origin story. It was done as part of this Women in Literature piece of work collaborated by different authors about bringing women to the forefront of literature and getting their voices heard, and I thought it was kind of funny that that was the point of this book, and yet they only mentioned 2 of Dracula's Brides and the third one is sort of like shoved away in an epilogue, which I thought was kind of funny in a kind of ironic sense. I really loved the idea of this book. It was about Romany gypsies who had been captured and had their families like slaughtered in, I can never remember where it is, but they'd been taken off and they'd been made into slaves, and yeah, how they became Dracula's brides. But it spent so much time on what I thought was backstory filler, and there was only 17 pages of actually doing anything, and I think Dracula was maybe in 30 pages of this book, and to say that was meant to be the point of it, I felt a little bit let down. I feel like it did do an origin story. I didn't really like the origin story. I liked part of the origin story, but I felt like one of the sisters, it was just, I don't know, I didn't like the way that they were played off against each other. I felt like there was so much more that could have been developed through one of the sisters, and it was just a little bit disappointing. And I'm not going to give this author a miss completely. This was her first YA book, so I'm not sure if it's just teething problems because she's used to writing middle grade, which is clearly a different audience, and you're writing to different age groups, so I would really like to read some of her other books, but yeah, this one just didn't hit the mark from what I was expecting it to do. The third book that I was a little bit disappointed with in 2020 was The Witch Beast by Samantha Eklund. This is a YA book based on, I think it's urban fantasy, so the human world has found out about the supernatural world and now they're living side by side but not. Humans have a massive distrust for anything supernatural, and we focus on this one girl who despises anything supernatural. She hates them all. She doesn't really know who her family is. She's pretty much orphaned, and it turns out that she's secretly a supernatural being, which I felt was a really obvious way to go about it, because the way that she was built up as like, these are horrible things, they shouldn't be, humans are the best, and I was like, well, obviously she's going to be something. And yeah, so she was she is a witch beast, which is a creation. So rather than being born as a supernatural thing, she was created. So she was born and then turned into this witch beast thing, which has been illegal or outlawed or something. And then she has a love story. Actually, there's 2 love stories within this book, and both of them just completely fly out of nowhere. It is literally just like, oh, I've met this guy and now we're in love. I'm just gonna kiss him all the time, and it just felt really, I don't know. It just felt really horrible to read. There was no actual chemistry, I didn't think, between the characters, from either our main character and her love interest and her best friend and her love interest. There didn't seem to be any chemistry at all. It seemed like they'd literally just been thrown into the situation, and then because it was a girl and a boy and a girl and a boy, that they had to get together, and it was very much like, oh yeah, this is because there has to be a romance in this story. But I didn't think it was needed, and I felt like it kind of detracted from the point a little bit, and it just seemed a bit stupid to put it in there. Is the only way I can sort of like articulate it. It just didn't fit at all. There was no way to get that love story to fit. Maybe there would have been if they'd have given it time to develop, but the fact it was, I've just met you and now you're amazing and blah blah blah, blah, and I just, insta love is not my thing, okay? So I was really disappointed with that book. I got this one as a review copy from, I think it was a website called Book Sirens. So I was a little bit disappointed with that, because again, I only pick up books that I'm going to review or do arcs for, or anything if the blurb actually intrigues me. I don't want to waste my time by reading something I'm not going to like, and I don't want to waste the author's time by taking up a review copy if I'm not going to enjoy it. So I was really disappointed in this book because I was expecting it to be a lot better, but it just seemed to be poorly executed, and I definitely will not be reading the other 4 books in the series. My 4th most disappointing book of 2020 was Dream a Little Christmas Dream by Giovanna Fletcher, which is really upsetting to me because I really love Giovanna's books, but this one focused on, pretty much there was some gaslighting in there. There wasn't anything nefarious going on, but the way that they were trying to build up this romantic plot, I just really couldn't get behind it. It was an 80-page novella that really upset me, so we'll just move on from there. If you do want to know my thoughts on this a little bit more, then check out my reading vlog for this, because I did read both this and Christmas with Billy and Me in December, and I gave my thoughts a bit more succinctly there. And my 5th most disappointing book of 2020 was Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan. I absolutely love this series, but I feel like this book was the weakest link, and it was a little bit of a drag to get through. It seemed to be mainly a filler book. I'm pretty sure half the book was filler, and the other half had got like some plot points in there, but there wasn't a lot to it. It wasn't the most exciting book, and it wasn't overall that great. And I think to say that this book has made it into my worst books of 2020 list shows just how few books I read that I didn't enjoy. I feel like this one could have gone into a lot more detail and expanded on some things, but obviously it's middle grade, so I'm expecting more from it, but it's aimed at younger people, and I don't know if that was part of my disappointment with it, but it's a shame. But at the same time I did enjoy it, but I was just disappointed with how that one was executed. I did enjoy the book, but I was just disappointed with how this one fit within the entire series, so that's why it's made this list. If you've read any of these books, let me know what you think. Did you like any of them? Were any of these your favourite books of 2020? And if so, why? Or have these been any of your favourite books at all at any point in time? I would love to know. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like, and also don't forget to hit subscribe if you want to see more of my videos. There's a new one out every single week. I hope you're all well and you're all staying safe, and until next time, bye!